Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. As we all know, the Vow of Disciple raid has been out, contest mode is done, World's First has been cleared, and it is now the first reset since the raid dropped, meaning that the raid weapons will now be available in the Bungie API, so we can look on D2 Gunsmith, a tool I use very often to look at weapon rolls, and we can see all of the potential perk combinations and rolls. So today I want to break down what I think. Keep in mind this is my opinion. But I want to look at all of the rolls that stand out to me, the things I would want. Some weapons might have terrible rolls. Some weapons might have some cool perk combinations. We can see the zoom factors and stuff like that. So we'll get a much more in-depth view of these weapons. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we hopped over to D2 Gunsmith. We are going to look at the Vow of the Disciple, apply a filter, and here are all the Vow weapons. There is Adept weapons, keep in mind, so it might not be worth crafting these guard rolls that I'm going to say, well, what I personally think of the guard rolls. Yeah, it might be worth waiting for the Master version and the Adept versions. However, we don't actually know when Master is coming, and Master is going to be 1590 power level, I think. And the difference between an Adept and a normal weapon is pretty insignificant. So for now, we're going to show the normal weapons as they are the only obtainable ones. So starting off with a submission. Straight up, we want to go, so it does have 15 zoom. It's not got the 13 zoom curse a lot of SMGs do. It is a lightweight frame, meaning this is the same frame as the Multimark, incredibly popular, best PvP SMG in the game. So straight away, as a mouse and keyboard player, we're going to go for straight range, full bore, accurize, and then we have some options. I personally think I would go overflow here. Picking up a special brick would put you from 37 in the mag to 74. Perpetual motion is also an option. I feel like lightweight frames do handle really well. Intrinsically, they get better handling, so I think I'd go overflow here. And the last perk we would go for is Killing Wind, of course. Killing Wind gives you 20 range on a kill. The enhanced benefit seems like it makes it last for an even longer duration, which would be great. So getting a kill plus 20 range on an SMG is huge. So this would be my guard roll, and then of course range masterwork, bump that up. And we'd have a 69 range, 15 zoom. The time to kill on these things is insane. The damage fall off would be a 13 to 19 meters. This would be a spicy roll. I would definitely be looking for this. This is a kinetic slot, lightweight SMG. It's never going to beat the Multimark because only the Iron Banner weapons can roll Iron Reach, but this would probably be the second best 900 RPM SMG in the kinetic slot in the entire game. So definitely want to keep an eye out for. Next, another PvP roll we would keep an eye out for is the Insidious. This is the 4-burst aggressive frame pulse rifle, so similar to the Sacred Provenance from Garden of Salvation. These are actually quite rare, these 4-burst pulse rifles. And as you can see, the base range stat is insane. It's got 18 zoom and 77 range, giving you, before any stats, a fall off of 21 to 38 meters at max. So recoil direction 78. I think straight away we would throw on counterbalance stock. It would get to 93, so we don't have to look for a better barrel for recoil direction. So at that point, we could go for something like fluted, a bit of stability and handling. I think would be really nice. Or maybe corkscrew might get it to 100. Or sorry, chambered. Chambered would get it to 100, and the range is so good anyway, so probably chambered. We'd probably throw accurized rounds on because it doesn't seem to roll ricochet. And then in terms of these perks, I don't think you can really go wrong with Rapid Hit Rampage. An alternative for Rapid Hit Rampage would be Demolitionist and Rampage, or Demolitionist and Vorpal maybe, Demolitionist 1 for all for a PvE build. It can actually roll this Adaptive Munitions perk, which will completely ignore the match game modifier in PvE. So a couple fun rolls. My personal go-to for a PvP player would be Rapid Hit Rampage, and then we'd probably throw on a Stability Masterwork here. You have so much range already. I think Stability Masterwork would be great, so we'd throw that on. We'd have 86 range, 82 stability, a perfect 100 recoil direction. This thing will feel like a laser beam. That'd be my go-to for the Insidious. Okay, next up, I'm not going to pretend this is my area of expertise. We're going to look through the perks that sound cool, but I have no idea what you would want on this. I assume handling straight away for the masterwork, and then we think straight away we would probably end up going for some handling or range. I don't know how much range matters because it does feel like you're shooting a projectile, not a hit scan bullet. SWAT mag seems pretty interesting. I don't think this can roll on anything other than a glaive. I think SWAT mag is new to glaives. And we've got some interesting perks here, some new perks that only roll on glaives clearly. We have tilting at windmills, blocking damage with your shield, increases movement speed until you lower your shield. That actually sounds pretty fun. Be able to block people's projectiles, and as you're getting hit on the shield, you would be able to walk up close to them and try melee. Maybe more of a PvE perk, but it does sound quite cool. We also have Immovable Object, which seems new to glaives. Projectile impacts grant increased weapon energy while you're stationary with your shield raised. Both these perks seem pretty good. I'm not sure how effective they would be in an actual in-game scenario. When I look at these perks, straight away I want to say Killing Wind, but I really don't know how good Killing Wind would be on a glaive. Like I said, this is definitely not my area of expertise. I'd probably say tilting at windmills unrelenting for a PvE build, being able to walk at people faster and then getting health back, like just meleeing some Thrall or something, but like I said, really not too sure about this one. I would probably go for this. The next one is a really, really interesting PvE pick. As you know, linear fusions can be insane. They're actually really good on the new boss. A lot of teams use this in their day one strategies. If you don't have a Reed's Regret from Trials and you don't want to go into that cesspool of Invis Hunters, Chaperone, Lord of Wolves teabagging you want to stay out of the Trials of Osiris, then this is a good option to get yourself a nice linear fusion rifle. Straight away, I would go with charge time so you can get your shots off quicker. I don't think the barrel's going to matter too much. Maybe fluted, just because the handling's better, so your swap speeds would be a little bit better. Okay, and then for the battery perk, not the magazine, liquid coils will make you hit harder every shot, but you'll charge slower. I'm not sure what is the most optimal in terms of in terms of DPS for this. I think liquid sounds good. I'm not sure if there's much in it. Accelerated is quite the opposite of liquid, so I'm not sure which would do better DPS, but I'm sure one of these is worked into the guard roll. And then for the last perks, we would take 4th times the charm for sure. Rapidly landing precision hits will return 2 rounds to the magazine. As you can see, this has a magazine of 6 right now. This would mean we would get 10 bullets shot in a DPS phase before reloading, because we would get 4th times the charm to proc twice, giving us a total of 10 shots while reloading. Seems really, really good. High impact reserves might be nice to pair with this, as you are shooting all 10 bullets off before reloading. And then Clown Cartridge is another solid option. You'd be able to reload and luckily get a couple more bullets. So I think this would probably be the guard roll. This would be one to watch out for, because I'm not sure how far into the magazine this would proc. If you could shoot 3 and then have 7 charge bullets, that would be insane, but I assume high impact reserves would go after your 4th times procs. So I would be looking for Clown for sure personally, but both could be great. Next, we have the Deliverance. This is a stasis fusion rifle. So this is, I believe, the first fusion rifle to be in the kinetic slot other than Bastion, which is an exotic. So that alone is pretty interesting. It is a precision frame. So this is the dreaded main ingredient archetype. A little bit scary. And I think as far as these go, you want straight stability. I know tap the trigger has been nerfed, but in general, we will look what we could do. So Polygon is a good 9 stability chunk. Small bore, also a solid option with 6 and 6. The multi-mark guard roll did roll with projection fuse and particle. So either of these, and I'm sure you'd be set. I think you would want particle because it's a bigger chunk to stability. So particle repeater in this column. And then in the last column, I'm trying to think what would be the best here. Some interesting rolls for sure. I think perpetual motion would be great actually, because if you're sprinting, you are gaining stability. A plus 10 stability would be really nice. So I would go with perpetual motion and then tap the trigger still. I know it's been nerfed, however, I think it would still be really good. You are still getting a chunk of 10 stability, giving us a nice total of 72 range, 72 stability before a masterwork or a mod. This is giving us a damage fall off of 15 to 19 meters. We'd throw a stability masterwork on that. And then in terms of a mod, I think what we would go with is counterbalance stock. I think this would be my go-to guard roll for this. A perfect recoil direction. You would shoot like an absolute laser beam. High stability, high range. This thing would be a monster in PvP. Plus, it's interesting that it's in the kinetic slot. So maybe you like the main ingredient, but you love the palindrome and you don't want to use a kinetic hand cannon. Well, now you can run this in the kinetic slot, pair it with your beloved palindrome, and go crazy in PvP. Last but not least, we have the Forebearance. It is a wave frame grenade launcher. These things are definitely more suited to PvE. I don't know enough about the barrel, so I'm going to leave that. I don't want to guide you wrong, but I would go for high velocity rounds. And then for a PvE roll, there's a couple interesting options. Unrelenting to get your health back after you shoot a wave frame shot at a group of ads could be really nice. Ambitious Assassin could be great because you could shoot a wave frame shot at 5 enemies, reload it, and I believe you would get 5 shots back from the way I'm reading this. That sounds insane. Maybe that's not right. Maybe you would just get 2. I think you'll just get 2. I don't think the way this is read, or the way I'm reading this, is actually true, because I use a grenade launcher in PvE often and I only get 2 shots back. But even still, this seems really strong. And then the great thing about this is I would be running chain reaction. I've actually managed to get myself a Forebearance with chain reaction already. Shoot a group of enemies, huge explosions, arc explosions, killing all the ads in the area. So this would be my go-to roll. I want to quickly note that these are the rolls that I personally will be looking out for. If it's a gun I'm interested in trying in PvP, I'm going to be showing you a good PvP roll. If there's something like a linear fusion rifle, I'll definitely be showing you the PvE roll, because I don't really see too much use for that in PvP. So just keep in mind the rolls will be, you know, in the part of Destiny that I think I would get the most value out of them, and that's the reason I'm looking for these specific rolls. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I know it's a very different video. It's not PvP gameplay like you guys are used to, but I wanted to just, you know, showcase some of the raid weapons now that we do have them in the API and we can see all the specific perk combinations. Give you the ones that I'm personally going to be keeping my eye out for. I am definitely going to be chasing the Adept versions once they're obtainable, but for now, I wanted to just look through the normal ones. And obviously, a thing to keep in mind is that the Adept ones can use Adept perks. So you could use something like Adept Stability or Adept Range. And these perks aren't an option on the normal ones, so you could get better rolls for sure, and you can also use better perks. So the Adept ones will maybe be worth grinding, but for now, I want to show the ones that are actually obtainable. I wish you the best of luck hunting these weapons, and I hope you get some great RNG, maybe even get yourself the exotic raid pulse, which I did get, by the way, and there'll be a video coming soon. Not sure how good it is, not sure how I feel about it yet, but I'll break that down in the video for you. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.